Hold up. A number of months ago, I asked everybody to help me out with a class project. I want to let everyone know that that ended up going well. It's done. I got an A in the class, so huge mahalo to everyone that helped. And furthermore, at the end of this video, I'm going to go through what ended up happening with all the data, what we learned, and show you some pretty cool stuff. So if you helped out with that, or you just want to learn a little bit about what happened and maybe a bit about Hawaii's fishing communities, stick tuned at the very end of the video and I'll go through that. How's it, everybody? Back on the Big Island. We're visiting for Christmas, saying what's up to the family, got the crew together, wanted to hit up a spot that we hit up, I don't know, last time we were here was like 3 years ago, bro.
I think it was 4
years ago. Yeah, it was.
But it was good, huh?
It was fun.
Really good.
Actually have a river going today, which is quite rare for the west side of the Big Island, but awesome. We never fished here when the river was actually flowing, so we'll see if that changes things. Yeah, who knows. Brought some of the stuff from the Oahu over here to fish, just the whip rig, which I'll be using as a dunk today. Alan's got a good solid dunk, the big ugly stick, so he's going to be trying out the deeper water. I'll try out the inside and hopefully we'll find where the fish are. It's going to be a 1 o'clock high tide. It's about 11 right now in the morning, but I'm stoked. Even Dangling, Slang, and JR are coming down, coming over from Hilo, so they're going to be a little late, but that's fine. They're making the 2-hour trek to get over here. Yeah, a little fishing is what I need, bro. I've missed it. I've just been like sitting in front of a computer for two years straight.
You gotta take advantage.
Slamming. So a fire came through here like 6 months ago and burnt all the kiawe trees down except for this one that I just stepped on. So sick.
You found the last one.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna put my slippers on, bro. Just beat up my poor feet. Oh, we got fresh water to wash our hands?
I was always doing that, I can't believe it.
This is super rare, yeah. It's the legend.
Oh, dude.
You doing an episode?
Oh, with the HPA 2009 shirt. Let's go.
How's your guinea pig farm?
How's the drive?
Good.
Yeah, your guinea pig farm is
is it profitable yet?
No. I gotta breed them soon.
Okay.
Yeah. Still not.
Nah,
soon.
The drive was all right. It was, yeah, it was a good one. I was walking in and I was like, oh, how's the spot we chose like the most like
murkiest
brownish, gnarliest water ever.
This is the same stream that's from Anna's Pond. So this is what we're jumping in when we jump into Anna's Pond. It's just checking the rod. Oh yeah, the sand is bearing it good. I wouldn't even feel if there was a fish on there. I got it out a little bit and then it got stuck again.
Maybe it has like a bowl of stuff, you know?
Yeah, it could be on a log or something. That's good and stuck. Oh! What is going on? There you go. Whoa, whoa, bro! Bro! It's on, let's go! On?
I think so. Yeah, I think there's something so big.
Something small? Something, bro.
I wonder if there's something.
I thought I crossed you for a second.
Really. Yeah, he was running out there.
I wonder what it is. Oh, small papillo, bro.
Feel?
Yeah. Nice.
A little.
Nice, dude. Whoa, that's a solid momilu, bro. Let's go. Oh. Yeah.
Wow, that's so red. That was like the last thing I was. Oh.
Nice.
That's like a good medium size.
That's a good one, bro.
Did you get it on camera, babe?
Yeah. Hold it up, dog.
Oh, dude.
Easy out.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Beauty.
Favorite
Let's
fish,
go, bro. You get a picture with it. You gonna keep it or you throw it back?
No, we better let it go, huh?
Yeah.
Just get a catch and release too.
Down.
Heck yeah, Alan. Look at that.
That's so strange. I never got one of these here.
Yeah. Hold it up, bro.
Rivermouth Omilu.
Rivermouth Omilu. Hold it like straight in front of you, towards me.
You want
Yeah.
to make it a little bigger, huh?
I want to get closer to it and you. Yeah.
Oh, it looks massive.
That was huge.
20 pounder.
Yeah.
Dude.
Beautiful, huh?
Nice one, dog.
There you
You gotta
go.
get the release.
Yeah, I do. Good job,
It
bro.
was gone, honestly. I thought it was
Yeah,
gone. But
that was hanging out. I'm gonna switch to whatever rig you got.
Oh, he's grunting. He's like, ah,
He's like, let me go.
let me go.
Oh,
The other
oh, he touched me. Gave me a little bump, bro. Shoot, Amilu.
He's like, oh, shoot.
Ah, dude, let's go. I thought I crossed you, dude. That was like,
It's so strange. Like I wasn't expecting it already.
yeah,
Oh, let's get the fishing boat.
yeah. Set them up. I'm gonna switch my rig so that my bait's in the middle, not on the ground.
You went for the top one, or you think the bottom one?
Oh, which one was it? He was on the bottom one.
Oh yeah. You didn't
The
touch
top one's still there.
You didn't touch the
Ah,
goldfish.
never
somehow.
touched the go fish.
Hey, not skunks.
Not skunks.
What a nice surprise. Your
See.
ones are 30 or the big one is 50.
Oh, give me the 32. I'll put my hook on the 30. And then a 20 for my other one. Watch Sean.
See, I got these.
See the line?
This is like 15. But I don't
Yeah.
know how good it is. You can go like 15 and 20.
Yeah, that's perfect.
He fell in the foam water.
I don't trust much like this line. But
Look at this.
Yeah, no, he had the DCs, like the big ass.
One.
Yeah, the big tongue and everything, like all loose. Like, why you like seriously? Like, hurt, get your string.
Uno was like the move.
I just assumed it was just.
Okay. Sending it back, all re-rigged. Ooh. Still cold. Much better, dude. Pretty sick little river cove. You can see all the burnt debris from the recent fires are still getting washed out. All that. Guess who made it? Brother Jared. Yee. Oh, it's cold. I'm just gonna hang out and hold this for a few minutes. Lost another piece of bait. Awful suspicious. All right, Cole. Send me the fish, please. I had a bite for sure. Oh, I'm stuck in a rock. I was, dude. There's like one rock in this whole area. Something's on it. Something small. To break it off or to wait? That's the question. I don't feel anything anymore. Oh, I might have something. Yeah, I got a little something. Yeah. Oh, what is this? Oh my God. I got the smallest papillo.
He was breaking already.
Oh, I think I hooked him.
Okay, hold it like way in front of you. Back.
Yeah, I gotta hold it. Oh, it's huge.
You need me to take a photo of it?
That's live.
You got your phone?
I don't know how he got hooked.
Hey, stop dropping the fish.
Oh, bro, poor guy.
Huge fish, guys. Back to the Big Island. Let's go. Make them bigger on the Big Island.
So huge. River mouth
yeah.
homie, bro.
Massive one right here. It's a personal best. About.
Oh, that's a shaka length,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah. I got a whole shock on this one, dude.
Bro, you're gonna put them in the. How's he gonna get back here?
He's fine. He's gonna swim back, bro. He's a fish. Gone. Oh, he's not doing good.
Sideways all hapless.
Maybe he doesn't like this. Oh, there he goes. He's cherry. Not skunked. That was all right. After that huge fish, I feel like they're coming in out there. All this trash is like weighing down my line, and then waves hit it, and I think a fish is whacking it. Raise my line up a little more. Damn it.
Oh.
No, it hit it and went away. It didn't get set.
You ran?
Huh?
Yourself? Yourself the hook?
Yeah. Oh, I'm stuck on another rock now. Oh, maybe not. I don't know what's going on. It's on.
It's done?
Yeah, but I'm stuck on a rock.
Okay, try to get it loose.
I have to let it like swim out a little bit. Something's on. Give it some line, maybe it'll run out the other side. All right, I'm gonna have to break it and hope that the lead breaks, not the fish line. Yep, that worked. Small fish, something though. Yee! What is that? Is that Kupipi, the smallest? Bro, what are these Kupipi doing over here? Bro, it's another fall hook too. Oh, by the eye. If you didn't actually get the eye, I might be able to save him. Got it. Yeah, it came right out. Sweet.
Well, his eyes all like
To the river.
Little hurting.
To the Copper River.
Dozer number 2 for the day. Yee! Into the river. Oh, he's gone. That's pretty close. What are these tiny little ones like foul hooking, dude? That's 2 foul hooked fish.
Well, they're like caught in a slipstream.
Yeah, they're just getting drugged through the hook. Weird. Pretty hilarious. Caught 2 tiny little fish somehow. Foul hooked. All right, everybody. Gotta head out. Christmas Eve tomorrow. Aren't gonna hit the full sunset, but we got some of it. I got 2 of the biggest fish I've caught on the Big Island in a while there. I'll take it. Better than nothing for sure. Alan got a nice fish. Anything on here anymore? Oh, my shrimp is gone. Okay, well, till the next one. Over in the back, Sean over there. Yeah.
You guys do like the kids?
KO2. Double shakas. Yeah, shaka longer, Sean.
20 minutes of
Yeah, let me get the good. Almost.
Anytime you're not fishing, just green screen shot.
Have in the back. Okay. As I promised in the beginning, I wanted to break down what I did with all the data you all provided me, how you helped, and what the project ended up looking like. So this is a write-up I did. I'm going to provide it to everybody as well, so if you want to dive into it on your own pace, you can. I'm going to skip ahead right now just to give a snap preview of what we ended up with. The whole purpose of this project was to kind of get a feel for what Hawaii's fishing community kind of looks like, how people organize around each other, how we interact. So the whole purpose was from that perspective of a network of fisher people and how that ends up looking. So we'll get into what all these actually mean and what this looks like. I just wanted to give you a quick look at some of the sick graphics that ended up coming out of this. But we'll jump in it from the start. So start of this project, we put up 2 videos and then made some posts on Instagram and on Facebook asking for input in a survey I made, basically helping me out with this class project. So into the story real quick, got an A+ in the class, so huge mahalo to everybody helping with that. And this is pretty much the exact process that I went through. So at the beginning, we asked everybody's for help. You all provided that. I promised that I'd randomize the survey. So first thing I did after we got the survey input, ended up with about 300 responses, by the way, so huge mahalo. A number of these were duplicates. We'll get into that. Some of that got removed, but the response was massive, and without that help, this project would have fell flat and I would have been in big trouble for the class. So again, huge mahalo for all of that. First thing I did was I took that data and I was asking people for like the first 3 letters of their first and last name, so real information, and I wanted to strip all of that out of there. So I made a little encoding index basically, and I turned all those letters into sequences of numbers that were still unique. So if you put like my name, Kapono Gowan, KAPGAU, those would be turned into new unique numbers, but still identifiable from the perspective if somebody else wrote my name separate from my input, those unique numbers would be the same numbers at the end of the day. So there's no longer any person there. Everybody's being represented as strings of numbers. So we took the survey data, stripped out the personal information, and then we got into this whole process of actually cleaning it up. So this is what the data ended up looking like when I read it into what the program I'm using is called R. It's basically a statistics program, lets you modify and manipulate data and run statistics. So the data ended up looking like this. This is what used to be people's names, right? Stripped out into these weird letters and numbers, totally randomized. But if somebody's saying the same person, these numbers will be the same for multiple entries. So if you said your friend's name and your friend said your name, now it's these numbers, but I can still link and know when people are talking about the same person, although I have no idea who that person is. So this is what the data looks like, right? I asked a bunch of questions. Who are your friends? What kind of fishing do you guys do? Ended up with this massive data set. So the majority of the effort on my end was taking this data and turning it into something that I could use for this project. Lots of good information in here, but unless I turned it into the proper format, I couldn't do the project. So the majority of this was me cleaning up the data. If you wanted to jump into this later, you can see the actual code that I use for all of this, all the different processes I did to clean this. Won't get into the depths now because that's pretty niche. I don't know if everybody wants me to run through a bunch of like random code. Just shorten it to say that we turned all this data into something that was standard and could be recognizable throughout the whole thing, which again is a big process. So here's the cleaned up data set. What I ended up with was a couple of different forms of data. So I had this table here, which is basically what we call an edge list. This is a person, this is a person, so they're referencing this person's referencing this person from the 2 lists. And then the different types of data that I asked about, like, oh, how often do you talk to them? What type of fishing do you do? Added onto this list. And then we had another list, which is called basically a character list or an actor list. This is a separate table or spreadsheet that has information about who these characters are. So if I have the from and the to, in this list I can reference who this person is and then pull up data about what kind of fishing they do, what island are they on, what kind of fishing, their expertise, how long they talk to each other, that kind of stuff. And then after having those 2 forms of data, I could create a network. So there's a special package you can get inside of R that lets you build networks and then use this whole network analysis, which is the whole course I was taking, to understand that network. So again, we started off, I think I said somewhere around 300 survey completions. After cleaning up the data, we ended up with 244 maintained pieces of data. So that was people that started it but didn't finish it, or people reached out to me and were informed me that the way that I had the survey set up made it look like if you weren't fishing with people, you had to put somebody in there. So people were like, okay, well, I can't finish this survey because of that. So I had to remove those rules to enable those people to actually finish it. So a number of them started and didn't finish. So I basically removed the first attempt and just kept all the completed data. But within those answers, people were, first they identified themselves, and then, who do you fish with, who do you talk to about fishing? So the entire network, right, this collective of people that we were fishing with, ended up being much larger than the amount of people that just filled it out. So basically, this is the actors, this is the edges. So if we total everybody that was included within this data set, we actually had about 600 or so actors, 600 fisher people that got identified, connected through 410 links between them. All right, so we got through the data. That's basically, just wanted to let people know what happened with that, right? I filled all this out. It just kind of went into a black box, but that's a quick overview of what I actually did with that. Which gets us to the fun part, right? Visualizing this. So I had just talking about numbers and names, but now we can actually take that program and visualize it. So after making the graph data, right, turning all that into actual new forms of data, I could take that data and stick it into a different program called Gephi. And Gephi lets you visualize network data and make stuff like this, basically. So if we jump into what this is, let me zoom in a little bit. The circles are people. The lines indicate that there is a connection of some kind. So in this one, this is actor type. So I colored this by the type of actor, basically how people filled out this survey. Oh, zoomed in too close. So this one here, this would be somebody that filled out the survey. Let's just zoom in on like one of these little isolates. So these two people filled out the survey. Red, these are people that they fish with. So on that survey, who do you fish with? These are those people. These are people that they talk to about fishing. So in this little isolate here, we can see there's this little community of people fishing or talking about fishing. Turns out that 3 people actually completed the survey, but these 3 people don't actually talk or fish with each other very commonly. They're connected by this other person. They both identified a person that they fish with commonly that also fishes with this third person, right? So everybody once in a while is fishing with this person, but perhaps they're not fishing that often with each other. And in this case, these 2 people don't actually fish directly with each other, but they talk to the same person about fishing, and they have a friend that's a mutual fishing friend. And it turns out like this person is basically this little node of like, I guess they're homey to the max because they're able to fish with a whole bunch of different people that might not be fishing with each other necessarily. Let me zoom back out. So some of the main questions I was wondering starting this, how like interconnected is this fishing community, right? How do we all fish and talk to each other, and is there like easy links or not? And just from the data that we had, the fishing community seems to be, at least from the people that filled out this survey, much more sparse than I would have thought, right? There's actually less of this overall connectivity, at least from the amount we had. Maybe if we had more and more people fill this out, we'd find these like super fisher people like this one that's connecting all these little isolates together. But overall, at least from what we got, it seems like there's lots and lots of people that fish and maybe have little fishing, we call this a click, fishing clicks, but might not be very heavily connected to this overall fishing community, at least from the aspect of who do you fish with, who do you talk to about fishing, which makes a lot of sense, right? You can't fish with everybody out there, and you ain't going to talk about fishing with everybody. So from that aspect, it kind of makes sense. So if we color this instead by the state people live in, dominated by people from Hawaii, right? And then we actually see some people that aren't from Hawaii And those people that aren't from Hawaii seem to interact at least slightly with other people that aren't from Hawaii. And then maybe they got one person that they're plugged into fishing in Hawaii. Like this one here. These people fish or talk to people that aren't from Hawaii, but they do have this Hawaii plug. Or this person here who filled out the survey, they're from Hawaii, but they talk to or fish with people that aren't from Hawaii. So maybe they're not here anymore right now, or they just live here right now and they just, came here and their main connections are people that aren't in Hawaii necessarily. We looked at that click we looked at earlier. Everyone there is in Hawaii. This one here, we colored this by the islands. So people, and this is actually kind of obvious when I think about it, right? People are fishing and talking about fishing with people that are generally on the same island as them. So that click we looked at earlier, everybody there, it's Oahu, right? So the Oahu click. There's one over here. This is like this mixed plate friendship where people are on all kinds of different islands. So maybe somebody moved to a different island, like this person or this person, and then ended up having kind of like a spread of people from a bunch of different places, but are all connected in one way or another through this fishing network. This is kind of what I assumed most things would look like from the beginning, but more I thought about it, of course, people are fishing or talking to fishing people that are close to them, and we're in Hawaii, so we're separated physically by islands. These are the people that filled this out that were telling me, I don't necessarily fish or talk to anybody about fishing very much, but I want to finish this. So they're kind of like these isolates, right? They're all kind of hanging out. They're doing fishing things, but they might not have any of these strong connections to this greater community or to this like specific aspect of that community, right? Maybe it's more that they don't necessarily fish all the time with somebody or talk to fishing about somebody, but they have these connections, but they're not necessarily actively fishing with those people. This one here, we colored this by, we start jumping into some actual fishing types. So this is bottom fishing from a boat, right? Do you bottom fish? Blue is yes. And we see that the bottom fishermen seem to be sticking with other fishermen a little more so than I might have thought. I thought it would be a little more spread out, but it seems to be a pretty closely tied niche of people. If you bottom fish, your fishing friends and people you talk to probably also bottom fishing. We actually run some numbers at the very end of this to kind of get a feel for that. This is just a visual form. Opihi picking, same thing, pretty tight group. A little more dispersed out over here, a couple of them, but in general, if you Opihi fish or your friends Opihi fish, high likelihood that you're connected with other Opihi pickers as well. And then I jump from what is this general connectivity to what we call an ego network. So basically focus on one actor of the network and show the connections there. So in my master's project, the idea was, government's having a hard time engaging with people that use the environment, right? And in this we can see if I was like a manager and I wanted to get out there and get perspectives, kind of hard because I got to find basically a whole bunch of different little isolate groups and then patchwork it together. Basically the word of mouth campaign is going to be difficult if I have something to spread, because if I want both of these groups of people that fish to know some information, right? They might not have, I could tell this guy, he might tell all these people, but there might not be anybody that's going to spread it over to this other group and inform them and get them involved. So in my mind, I was interested, okay, well, what if we just superimpose basically my YouTube presence into this whole network? So my assumption was if you completed this survey, one of the blue nodes, then you have some form of connection with the YouTube channel or the Instagram or the Facebook, right? You have some connection with this influencer personification out there. And if I consider that being someone that can reach these people, instead of having this highly isolated network, it becomes filled out a whole bunch more. So in my mind, showing some of the power of these new communication channels we have out there, whether it be Facebook groups or a particular influencer. So in this case, instead of me trying to like reach this person and hoping that it spreads over here, if you can find these online communities and like this nexus of it, you can reach massively more people through one avenue as compared to attempting to reach each and every one of these little blocks of homies. And especially because we had all these people filling this out that may not fish or talk to people often about fishing, but are in some way engaged with this online space, you can reach all these isolates that otherwise would probably be really hard. You're basically banking on standing out there at a boat ramp or walking on the beach or blasting it out in some old media to hopefully reach all these people. Or maybe you can use this communication channel here and reach all these different isolated groups. So this is that same network, except showing the edges back to here. So all the blue ones are people that filled this out, and then their connections. So we got some pretty interesting stuff here. Like this is that isolate we saw earlier where the homies don't actually necessarily talk, but they have homies that are connected through this greater graph, and then connected to these other groups through this online space. Then we just color this by like the state again. So this is the state everybody's in, Hawaii, so on and so forth. The next up was California that filled this out, followed by Alaska, Alabama, Florida, Washington, and then it just kind of got one or two people for all these other ones. Even people from way out in Germany. So if you're out in Germany, mahalo for filling this out. Freaking cool that we got so much diversity and amount of people that actually fill this out. Jumping through this was pretty neat. This is by island, showing again people really fishing and talking to people from these different islands. NA just means so we didn't have island data. This is probably people from Germany or California. There's no island they live on, right? So they just end up being NA data. And then social media use. When I brought this up back in my master's program, the big question was, okay, yeah, you can reach these communities through the social media like approach, but really are you reaching people that aren't? Like, are you kind of getting biased here and only reaching a small portion that are using social media? So this is kind of looking to that like penetration outside of social media space, which trips me out because even some of the people that filled this out, red is no social media use, light red is like barely. We had people filling out this survey that don't use social media. So somebody forwarded them some form of information, maybe email, maybe, hey, check this out, and then they filled it out, right? Very interesting to me. But also, when you look at the like groups you're reaching this person here, they use social media, but they know people that don't, right? So you are penetrating into this outer level of, okay, maybe this isn't as biased. So it's actually something I'm interested in maybe studying a little more formally later on down the line. But we reached a lot of people, like this whole group here, they don't use social media at all, pretty much, except this person barely. But somehow they learned about this survey, filled it out, and then got connected back to this whole project. And then to end this off, we do some network analysis. So this is some more statistical stuff here. I won't jump into this. This is just basically the average amount of connections people have in normal networks. They become what's called scale free. Basically, you have what's called a hub, which you could think of as this, someone that usually has tons of connections, and then the connection amount drops down kind of like that. I won't get too detailed on that, but this is basically just for the project's sake. Ran a whole bunch of stuff. And then close off on what I think is interesting. It's called this assortivity metric. So assortivity gives you a feel for how likely one of these nodes is connected to a similar node based off of some sort of characteristics. So in this case, we have social media use, yes or no. How likely is it that a social media user is connected in this network to a social media user or a non-social media user? And this is kind of where it's getting most interesting to me. So if we look at this, I broke this into the full and the social. We're going to ignore the social media one for now and just talk about the full network. So from the assortivity, basically how likely, you are more likely than not to fish and talk to people from the same state. And then this is the island one, right? You are highly likely to have your connections be from the same island as compared to not. Social media use seems to be very small. Basically, less likely to be connected in that graph based on if you do not use social media. Some of the more interesting things here, though, is like actual fishing types, right? So here we see dunking, whipping, slide bait. If you are whipping, seems to be kind of generalistic. It does not determine whether or not your friends are whipping. So if you are a whipper, maybe not your friends are whipping. Doesn't seem to be very like capturing of the likelihood of who you're going to be connected to. But then we get to dunking, and it's a little bit more so. So if you are dunking, you're a little more likely that the people you're connected to also dunk. And then we step it up to slide bait, and it becomes more and more likely. If you are a slide baiter, there's a higher likelihood that your friends in this network, of your fishing community, like little nuanced mini fishing community network, is going to be filled with other people that are doing slide bait. Really interesting to me, and that kind of, I was talking to some people about this, like why would that be? And in my mind, it's okay, well, you know, whipping seems to be like the starting fishing style. At least that's how I was raised up on fishing. Learn how to whip, learn how to dunk, and then once you get into slide bait, you're getting pretty, you know, intense at your fishing. So if you are up to here on the skill level where you're out there slide baiting, you're probably surrounded by other people on that same skill level where they're slide baiting as well. If you're whipping out there, you're probably, you know, might be mixing with a bunch of different skill levels, a bunch of different people. It would have been interesting to get into like how well of a whipper you are, like what's your intensity level, and see if that kind of changes things a little bit beyond what we did here, though. It's just, do you whip, do you not? Does this person know how to whip, do they not? That kind of thing. So slide baiting seems to be the highest there. Then we can jump into some of the spear fishing, high as well. So if you are a spear fisher in this network, your fins are probably also spear fishing. Opihi picking, same thing. So it seems to be the more niche, nuanced techniques. Your friends are doing the same. Bottom fishing, really high. So if you're a bottom fisherman and you're out there and you reported, your likelihood of having other people in your network that are bottom fishermen more high than not. Then trolling, a little less so. Pull and line, that was basically like Oama fishing, pretty high. Fly fishing, fairly high, but not super high. And actually, was pretty stoked we had some fly fishermen fill us out as well. So that is the run through of this. I'll close and just looking at some of these cool graphics, which I totally opened and now I don't know where the hell they are. Boom. So here's that like actual network, the high grade PDF version. So I'm going to put this out there. I'm not sure how I should upload the entire thing, but I'll figure it out and then we'll get it out there for if anybody wants to like dive into these different images, take a look. There's more than I showed today. I have a graph for basically all those different metrics. And then we had one more like this too, the full one. This is based off the island, so Oahu people, Hawaii Island, Kauai. Here's that group over here again. But it looks pretty cool. I was super stoked. Needless to say, again, huge mahalo to everybody that helped out with this. Full write-ups over there. We're thinking of like formally getting this written up as well. There's possibly that we could get this published out there somewhere. So if you're interested in that, let me know and we'll keep you posted on what ends up happening. Nonetheless, huge mahalo. Made it so that I could get a good grade in this class, everybody. And I learned some pretty cool stuff. And I learned some techniques and just some things about the fishing community that are really neat too, that I want to dive into a little bit more. Other than that, huge mahalo. Talk to you soon. Hui ho.